Hola, welcome to Intentional Unicorn. If you are juggling a very demanding career, a personal life, and yet you still have these big dreams about what is that next career leap or switch, then you are in the right place. My name is Jennie Lopez, and just like you, I have navigated the ups and the downs of the mid career journey while balancing, like scratch that, integrating family life. And today we're gonna really get deep into a subject that is a game changer for professionals like us. And that's really being able to own your own voice, to own your narrative, because nobody else does. You do, I do. And that's what we're gonna be talking about here today. And I'm not just gonna talk about some theory, no, I'm gonna talk to you about some real and raw personal examples, yes, from my life, to show you that also being authentic is not just a buzzword out there, it's really your secret weapon. So if you're ready to conquer those goals of yours without sacrificing who you are and really inject authenticity out there in your career and in your life, make sure you hit subscribe. And you know what? Don't be shy. Make sure that you put in the comments what other topics are interest, because we're gonna do this journey together. Now let's dive in. So what I want to do with you today is really share with you my top 5 lessons or hacks, however you want to call it, in terms of what it takes to be intentional when it comes to owning your voice and your narrative. And I want to share with you something that happened in my career that this illustrates the concepts perfectly. So sometime many years ago, I was working, I'm a chemical engineer, by the way, and I was working in manufacturing quality for this big global corporation, Fortune 500. And I have had this amazing experience. I started working in engineering, then I went to quality, process improvement. I worked in different platforms, in different sites, in different industries within the same umbrella of M&Q in the same company. So it got to the point, whenever you meet one of those senior leaders in your company and you're excited, and I go there, and as soon as I sat down, this is what the senior leader told me. He's like, well, Jennie, you know what? I don't get you. You're lost. You're all over the place. Like, what is your home? No. And I don't know about you, but I don't like that word home, because it's almost like they want to squeeze you into this big box whenever we really have to break the box and really unleash our potential. We have so much to offer than thinking about what is home and what is the box that we fit in. Okay. I vented. But you know what I did? It took me off guard. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But I flipped the script and I owned it. It would be really easy to be intimidated and saying, oh, yeah, I guess, what does he think? And is he thinking this? And da, da, da. No. Ooh, I owned it. And I said, you know what? No, I'm not lost. I actually have been very intentional in choosing all of my assignments and roles through my career so I can add tools to my tool set. And now, guess what? I have experiences in different functions, in different areas, in different organizations, in different sectors, and I am your best asset. And you know what he said? Nothing for a couple of seconds, because I took him off guard, and then I think I finally made him realize and help him connecting the dots and saying, oh my goodness, yes, Jennie Lopez. With all of those experiences, I really can place her wherever, because she has demonstrated the quick learning agility and she has had all these experiences, right? And been very successful at each of them. So again, this is just a clear example on how to own your narrative and don't let anybody own it. You do. And you may be thinking, but Jennie, to own your voice and your narrative, that means that you have to be super confident. And yes, but I'm gonna share a trick with you. If you operate from your authentic self, with your own beliefs and your own values, you bring your own experiences, guess what? That's you. You're not comparing yourself with anybody else. You don't have to compete with anybody else, because that is you. That is you. And that's the best gift and the best value you can add in any conversation. Okay, so the first tip is really own your personal values and beliefs. And honestly, by doing that, not only you're making yourself a favor, but anybody else that will benefit from what you're speaking up about. Okay, and I'll give you an example. There was one time that I was in a big meeting, and in that meeting they decided, hey, we're gonna send 5 ladies to this market research that they were doing in the company right now. And the goal of that big project was to like, how do we really close the representation gap between male leaders and female leaders? And it happened to be that in this organization where I was, they said, oh, we don't have a problem. But finally they said, but we're gonna send 5 people to also demonstrate and show that we don't have a problem. So we have the data that we don't have a problem. So of course, Jennie Lopez said, pick me. And I went there, I was part of the market research. I love the data. I could see myself in many of the stories what other ladies were also sharing. And then it came back to the time that we needed to present our experience with this leadership team that kept saying, we don't have a problem. And guess what? From these 5 ladies that went there, lady 1, 2, and 3 said, oh yeah, you guys were right. We don't have a problem. And I'm thinking, in what world do they live? Like, we all have had similar experiences. So how come you're saying we don't have a problem when clearly there is a problem? But guess what? I think they had, oh my goodness, my career. I need to do this and just demonstrate that they are right because I want a future in my career here. But you know what? That's whenever sometimes you have to think about not just you, but the people that are not there in that room that you may be also impacting. So I had to stick with my values and my beliefs, and I spoke up and I say, we do have a problem. And this is what I recommend. Boom. And that's how you own your voice and you also make an impact, not just for you, but for many others. Number 2 is to practice active listening. And this is so important because sometimes we're so immersed in our own reality that we forget everybody else's. And that is a big no-no. So regardless if you're in a one-on-one situation or you're in a group, when they're talking about things, the best way to own your narrative is by being empathetic and listening to other people's perspective. That means that whenever you're listening, you're not doing this is right, this is wrong, and I can't believe he said that or she said that, and no, this is what I'm going to respond, and this is what I'm going to say. No, empty. I know this is easier said than done, but just empty your brain and be on active listening mode. And that's the best tool that you can have, because then you can really process and understand not just what they're saying, but what they're really saying and thinking. And this is the best way to really, instead of taking things personal, just understand with empathy and make sure that you understand their reality and their perspective, so that way you can best inform your narrative in a very respectful way. Yes? And honestly, the best is whenever you all collaborate together. Number 3, develop your communication skills. And if you are like me, that English is your second language, this takes practice, but you cannot practice by not taking action. And for the longest time, I will be just waiting for the right opportunity or trying to translate everything here from Spanish to English and make sure that it was perfect. And I will wait for so long, but by the time I wanted to say something and add value, it was too late or somebody else already said it. And you waste so much time trying to be perfect. So don't strive for perfection. Just make sure that you practice, and it takes practice to be concise, to get to the point, and be very authentic in the way you're doing it. And honestly, sometimes the best way to build confidence, and I'm putting here because this is what I did, is to take action and do something that is outside of your comfort zone, because that's how you continue to, I don't want to say fearless, because it's not about not having fear, because fear is a good sign, but it's really how to build that confidence and just like, in spite of fear, you take action. Courage, that's the word I was looking for. So every time I will go to like a big meeting that they had like big leaders or big stakeholders, I will put here like a reminder about be courageous, have impact, add value. That's it. And I will put a little piece of paper in my notebook. I know I'm old school still with notebooks, but it was like a trigger, not just talking for the sake of talking, but how with those 3 things, right? How could I make myself be heard and also being impactful? It takes practice. It takes 1 meeting, 2 meetings every day, just to have that as being your compass. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. Number 4 is to be authentic and consistent. We talked already about the magic about being authentic, but really this is about consistency as well. Not saying like, this is my narrative, this is who I am, and then acting different the next day, because people see through that, my friends. People see through that. But be really authentic. And the other thing that I learned is that I remember earlier in my career, I will be comparing myself with other leaders that people will think, oh, they're so successful. And they will use all this lingo and corporate lingo and fancy words. And I remember somebody will bring articles from all of these things that they were reading. And then I started reading articles and I started using these fancy words that I didn't even know how to pronunciate because I wanted to be like them. And I said, Jenny, this is insanity because you're focusing on the wrong things. Your focus should be in adding value. So do it in a way using words that are natural to you. And that's how you add impact. That's how you add value. And number 5, I was debating between this one. Say, is it this one or this one or this one? Because I wanted to keep it at 5, but now take it as number 5 and bonus. So it's really about being vulnerable, but also to remember that it's not about you anymore. And this is whenever, if you really want to be an impactful leader, professional out there, you have to remember that it's not about just you. It's about how you add the best value to be able to do your narrative and own your voice, but also representing the people who are not there or do not have the opportunity to be there. And this is so, so important. Again, it's not about you anymore. And sometimes it's vulnerable. You put yourself out there, but if you have a big why as of like, I'm doing this because I want to help the next generation of leaders. I want to help my team. I want to help the clients I serve. I want to help the employees. Whatever that is, if you have a big why, then yes, it takes vulnerability, but at this point, it's not about you anymore. It's about the impact you have. So being a role model, so then other people also follow you. So this is, again, the power about owning your narrative and your voice, not just for you, but for the others who are not there with you. So now how you can help me is please let me know if this helps you. I'm having a ton of fun creating all this content here to really accelerate your learning and sharing here the good, the bad, and ugly, and everything that has taken me years to learn, and really just give it here to you. So please let me know in the comments. Just let me know in the comments what else can I help you with. Did this resonate? Which one was your favorite? Do you have any other tips on that one? But I'm here to help you. Let's do this journey together. So this is how you can help me so I can help you. So make sure you subscribe and let's do this. Now, let's you and I build a culture where everybody can shine by being their most authentic self without sacrificing who they are. Because when you are working from your authentic self, that's whenever you do your best work. All right, see you on the next video. Have a great day.